The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys!
This is Cowboys Storyline, presented by Gillette, the official shave of the Dallas Cowboys. Here's Nick Eatman.
What is up? Welcome to Cowboys Storyline, presented by Gillette. I'm Nick Eatman. It's January 29th, Thursday. This is not the draft show. This is the time slot for it, but all day long there's going to be shows in different spots, and except for hanging with the boys, I think they're in their regular Thursday at 1, but all day long, everything else. This is pretty much the regular season type of format for our shows because we've been out of the office. I would say some of us are back in the office today. Not everybody, but it's been crazy here, just as expected. I mean, usually what they say, and I know we don't talk weather, but the weather has affected everything here. So that when they say it's going to be bad, and you kind of roll your eyes like, we'll see. Well, it was pretty bad. I mean, it's the kid's been out of school for 4 days. So we'll see about tomorrow. But glad to be back here with you guys. And a lot has happened, and a lot is still happening with this team. And Cowboys are, I guess, they've added Christian Parker. I can't even remember if that was something we discussed on the last show. I don't believe it was. And now some other coaches are coming and going. Looks like they're going to interview a few guys here today. Keep adding Pro Bowlers. You know, I'm always get a little uncomfortable when the Pro Bowl number gets higher than the win total. That's where I think it's a little excessive, and that's what's happened. They have 8 Pro Bowlers now for this 7-win team, but you can roll your eyes all you want about the Pro Bowl and say, "Well, it doesn't matter. No, who cares? It's a joke," and whatever you say, then that's fine, and I'm not going to disagree with you. But you know, when we're sitting here, you know, down the road like we are now with the guys like Jason Witten and Darren Woodson and trying to get into the Hall of Fame, and they're like, well, Woodson should be there. I mean, he made 5 Pro Bowls. He did this. He did that. He was on Super Bowls, all this stuff. I mean, Pro Bowls don't ever seem to matter until you're looking at that kind of stuff. So wait till Tyron Smith comes up, Zach Martin come up, and then we're looking at how many Pro Bowls they had and things like that. It matters. So for CeeDee Lamb to get there and 5 straight for him, and him and Irvin are the only receivers ever to have 5 in a row and 5 total for the Cowboys. I mean, that's pretty good. Kevontae Turpin's got 3 in a row as a kick returner. I mean, Devin Hester had 4, and he's in the Hall of Fame. So I'm just saying. I'm not calling him Devin Hester. I'm just saying that's the kind of stuff when you use that stuff to kind of compare. So it's become a joke as far as a game and all that, but it's still an honor, and it's something that people look at to compare. All right, let's go to the phone lines. Chris, Saratoga Springs, New York. Chris, start us off. What's up, man?
Let's go Woody for the Hall of Fame. I'm going to say it every time I call. Speak it into existence. Let's go Woody.
All right.
I just want to say a huge hire with CP from Philly. One of my best friends is an Eagle fan, and he pretty much was devastated that we stole him from the Eagles. I think it's a huge hire for us. I like how he's young. It's not a normal hire for the Cowboys. We don't normally hire coordinators that are young and inexperienced with no defensive coordinator experience, but I love it. I think everywhere he's been, he's done great with the corners. I mean, look at Green Bay with Alexander, and then he went, I think, to Denver with Simmons and Patrick Surtain. Then he went to the Eagles. Big play Slay had a heck of a career with the Eagles, and he was a big part of that. Everywhere he's been, and obviously the guys he has now, number 1 picks, but everywhere he's been, he's done a great job. He's a young, energetic teacher, and that's, I think, what Shoddy was looking for as well. So I'm a huge fan of that hire. I wish they would also, I think they just interviewed him, the one from the Ravens, I'd love to get him as well onto the squad. I think that would be another hire that would be great for us. And I just like the direction we're going with these younger coordinators. And I think it's gonna bode well for us in the future.
Okay. Yep. I don't disagree at all. And thanks for the call, Chris. Now that I think of it, we did not have a show. since the hiring of Christian Parker. And I kind of treat coordinators and assistant coaches sort of like the draft, where I'm like, I'm not going to try to tell you that I know what they do and what they bring and things like that. A lot of times when you bring in a coordinator that it's probably because he's been a head coach somewhere and got fired. That's what happened with Dan Quinn. That's what happened with Matt Eberflus, Rod Marinelli. That's kind of what had happened here. So you know them, but you don't necessarily why they're here isn't really why they're here. So in this case, the things that I liked about him are the things that Chris just mentioned here about he's 34. I mean, he's a young guy. Now that means he's inexperienced in calling plays and calling defenses, and there's going to be some of that. But I like that. I mean, it was a definite shoddy hire. I mean, this is, and I really believe that this is some growth from the Cowboys too. The Cowboys have made a lot of these moves on defensive coordinator, and then all of a sudden now they're like, we saw what Shoddy did last year on offense. We saw how he put together a staff that hadn't really worked together, but Clayton Adams here and Connor Riley here, and Junior Adams and things like that, and it's like, all right, and it worked. It worked pretty good. So now it looks like he's kind of letting him do the same on defense. All right, Irene in Falls Church, Virginia. Irene, what's up?
What it do?
No, you can't be. It's trademarked. You can't be doing that.
Maybe I said to say hi. You can't call in at the weird time, so I told him I'd give him one. Anyway, so last time I called, I was worried that we'd wait for Leonard and lose out on Parker Jones. Obviously, the very next day, they hired Parker. Very proud of the process, thorough. Like you said, he's young, but I hope it translates to great secondary development. Looking to Revel for sophomore growth. And then maybe we even use a pick like Mansour Delane, 12 for LSU, or both. I mean, hey, he needs to help the people who are here. We can't get rid of our entire team. So, and it sounds like he's really highly respected around the leagues, right? So, we might not know that much about him, but people around the league think this is a good hire, including his former players. A bunch of them chimed in, right? Mm-hmm. Also sounds like you might be on the head coach track. So do you think the Cowboys are planning for that by bringing like Zach Orr, even this Ryan Smith from the Cardinals, to have somebody under him to have the succession plan in place? Because if he gets poached in 2 years, you don't want to start everything over again.
Yeah.
And then last thing, we do have a space tonight. Twitter, 8 Eastern, 7 Central. All right. Thank you.
Awesome.
Bye.
Hey, Irene, thank you for the call, and also when I got into the studio, I asked Chris, do we have any callers? She said, yeah, we have 2. And I could have just written down Irene. I could have just said it. I'm sure one of them is Irene, and it was. Because if there's a new schedule, I know that you're going to step up. And not only are you going to call in, you're going to probably make sure others around this community know, hey, new showtime, Nick needs us, and I do. And you called in, and that's why you're a captain. Speaking of, we're getting to that time again where I'm starting to calculate things and numbers and calls and looking at T-shirts again. I'm going back to the T-shirts, especially if we're going to sponsored by Gillette. Got to put Gillette on the T-shirt and let them pay for it, honestly. But we're starting to, trying to see how first team, second team, third team, captains, all that good stuff. But these first 2 callers, I'm sure, are going to be on there, and third one as well. Brian, Kansas City. What's up, man?
Good morning, sir.
How are you?
So I'll just say, because he can't call in today, at ease, everybody. Sergeant Sue send his love. He had an appointment this morning, couldn't call in, so he let us know that he'd be thinking about us.
He's at the gym. I don't know.
Yeah. That could be, man.
Yeah.
That could be. He's right next to the rock.
Pretty close. Close. And he's got that eyebrow that working too. So he's got a good eyebrow game, and he's maybe not as tall. Definitely not as tall. Anyways.
Yeah.
What's up, Brian?
Absolutely. Well, people have already talked about Parker, so I'm just glad to have. I thought, you and I talked about this on the last call. I thought Flus was a good hire, proven guy. He was going to help our linebacker. So I just don't really have an opinion on this one. We know the Eagles' defense has been pretty good the last couple of years. That's what I know.
And he's the DB's coach, and Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell, they've been pretty good. I mean, real good, actually. And so, he coached Pat Surtain. I mean, I think we both could have probably helped Pat Surtain get to the all-pro level. He was destined for it. But we've seen corners drafted in the top 10, J.C. Horn was right behind him, and I don't think it's been the same. He's been good, but not to that same level. So, sure. I mean, Parker. I'm sure he helped Pat Surtain. I'm sure he did. And Surtain says he did. So that's good enough for me. But it sounds like at a young age he's still developed and he's been around. He knows what a good cornerback is supposed to look like. And so if that's the bar, he's like, hey, I've had this guy and I've had this guy, and that's what I'm trying to find. Great. Because if you get close to that, that's still way better than I think what we've seen here.
Well, you know what I wonder too, because of that run of people that you just mentioned, I wonder if he's one of those people that is kind of a good evaluator of talent, at least at that position, because it seems odd that he would have that many really good people in a row, unless he was involved in some way. It could be luck. It could just be, luck of the draw. Those were all high-rated people coming out, but it does seem like he's done something that there's some glue there that brings it all together.
Yeah.
So that's it for me today, man. Thanks for taking the call. Hope you get yourself dug out over there.
Nah, we're good. Thanks. When you're talking about, like voices in the room and stuff like that, those are some things where what he was, he got those guys picked. Now, I don't know if it's just him or not, but maybe he's very fortunate that he landed at places where they were drafting corners. But he's been able to develop young corners and get them to play at that level. And like I said, just because you're drafted high doesn't mean you're going to be good. We've seen that here. We've seen that at other places. So he's gotten young players to play at a high level, and that's kind of what teachers do. And that's the word I just keep hearing about him is teachers. Teacher. He's a teacher. He knows how to relate. He's 34. Now being a DB's coach and moving up and being a defensive coordinator, different step. But they sounds like he just blew everyone away when he was here for his meeting, and it wasn't even close apparently. So, they're excited about it, and I think we should be excited about it as well, because like I said about the offense, they put together an offensive staff that did really good things. And it wasn't like there were 6 of them from one spot coming here. I mean, it was kind of a hodgepodge group here. You wouldn't have known that it was, different. So that's what I think they're trying to do here, and we'll see what happens. All right, let's go Dylan, Northport, Florida. Dylan, what's up?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. This Christian Parker thing's pretty cool, man.
What's your take?
It's pretty cool. So something we all hated about Eberflus was it was just static coverages, playing oftentimes too deep. You send the linebacker to go take a deep third or something like that, in Tampa 2. Your corners are playing 12 yards off the ball. And it was just the same thing over and over. With Christian Parker coming from Vic Fangio, you can only assume you're going to see the too high shell before the snap. But what they do is they shift that coverage a lot. They'll shift like a cover 3 or they'll send a man down, in like a robber situation or something. So you're going to see a lot more disguises, which is something that we hated last year. We didn't get any of that. It was just too easy for quarterbacks, right? And something that people don't think about with this hire too is the Rooney Rule. It's something to consider when I think you're interviewing these guys. Is if he does go on somewhere else, and we're getting ahead of ourselves with him getting a head coaching job, but if he does, all of a sudden now you're getting 2 third-round picks, one in back-to-back drafts upon his departure. So if that's the case, if he does, good enough and gets hired somewhere. So that's kind of a hidden benefit as well of this hire. There's connections across the league with the guys we're bringing in here, the guys that are in the draft. So as far as the secondary goes, I think they might end up drafting a secondary player here at 12 or 20 with some of these connections, like a Mansour Delane and the guy they just hired here from Arizona. I forget his name. But there's a lot to be excited about, man. And I'm really looking forward. I don't care that he's young. Every DC, every head coach, everyone who's been successful, they had to start somewhere at some point in time. And this guy was on fire. He was a hot name, and I'm glad Dallas bucked the trend. And no more retreads. We're going with kind of unproven guys who are on the up and up. And looking forward to see what he can do.
No doubt about it. I think that's a great call, Dylan. I think you're all over it, and I think that's what happened here. And that's what's got, I think, Cowboy fans somewhat excited. It's got us excited in the building. Is we're seeing things done differently, and you want that to continue. And especially when you get into March free agency, you want to see some changes there in the philosophy and how they do things. And the sense is that that's going to happen, but I don't want to get too ahead of myself here and say, "Oh, we've heard this before," because I guess we have, right? I guess we've gone into free agency thinking that they're going to have a little bit of money and be able to do some things, and they're still going to look for deals and look for value. But I think this year when you look at it, you should be excited about it because they went in last year and they said this is the kind of guy we want, and he's not going to cost a lot, Javonte Williams, but we think he's going to fit in well. And just like let's get George Pickens in here, let's get him. Let's see what happens with him. They tried it before with Mingo, and then that didn't work. That wasn't enough. There wasn't enough there, and so all right, let's do this again. Let's step it up a little bit, and they certainly did with Pickens, and he took his game to the next level too. And so, I'm sure there's going to be more of that as well. But I have this feeling that they're gonna be a little bit more aggressive than they have in the past. That's just what I think, and that's good, especially if it's on defense. Then that's an area where you can instantly get better. All right, Ali in Florida, what's up?
Good morning, sir.
How are you?
Pretty good, buddy. How are you?
I'm good.
If you ever get cold, just call me. I give you a recipe how to stay warm.
It's not a coat.
No.
Well, that's blanket. I mean, that's okay.
No, it's the first layer that you wear is the most important. Your like a shirt underneath, your undie, your socks. Those are avoid your body to sweat if you sweat, because those get a little bit sweaty, you're gonna get a pneumonia, But
okay.
Couple things. I was watching the Senior Bowl interview with Stephen Jones.
Yeah.
And I never seen him so excited about the interview he had with Parker.
Yeah.
But what I love about this coaching hire is they're another ex-head coach, they're another established defensive coordinators, because they get a job 1 or 2 years, bridge to become a head coach, then we lose it again. So there's a new blood, which is love. I think personally, either he's going to bring the one free agent from Eagle, the defensive back, he has the eye on, or he knows someone or the coach. And the rest of the coaching staff, it give us such a array of free agent that we don't even think about, because everybody knows somebody. And that would enhance our drafts. So I want to get your opinion on that. And I want to give a shout-out to my buddy, Randy. Randy, I love you. Your heart is good. You can speak like me with my accent anytime. You got 100% permission. Because I know your heart is good. So, but the thing is, your grammar is going to get worse. People that say, well, you're broken with broken English. I listen to Ali too much, But love you. Thank you, Nick and Chris, for everything you do. I hang up and listen.
Thank you. I guess I didn't. Did I miss that? Is that what Randy did last time? Did he do a Ali impression? I don't remember that part. But anyways, thanks for the call. Let's see. You're talking about the staff under Christian Parker, and today's kind of a big day for that. Apparently, the Cowboys are doing some interviews today. Ryan Smith from the Cardinals, defensive backs coach, I think was where that would be. Zach Orr, who was interviewed for a defensive coordinator spot, and he's he's been at North Texas right up the road here. He's got linebacker like history there as coaching, so that could be a thing. Or I think Robert Livingston is another coach that's coming in. He was with the Bengals, I believe. He's a guy that has coached safety, so you're starting to see some of that kind of stuff. And I think that was when I heard about Zach Orr interviewing, the thought that from what I kind of gathered was not sure if defensive coordinator is going to be the role there, but it's one of those, get him in the building, let's interview him, let's see what happens, because he's at a place where there's a lot of changes going on in Baltimore, and then maybe you'll be here for another position. It's not dirty business. I mean, that's just what happens. That's what people do. That's what I think. That's what happened with Tennessee with the Titans and White Cotton. They interviewed him for the defensive coordinator spot because that's what they can. You could say, hey, Cowboys can't block that. Nobody can block an interview for a promotion. So that's what happened. But then he doesn't get the job. But now it's like, all right, well, you didn't get this job, but you could have this job. And that's sort of where that is. And that happens all the time. And maybe that's what's going to happen with Zach Orr. We've seen that. I can't put my finger on one exactly, but I know it's happened here where they've interviewed, I mean, Jason Garrett was an example. They interviewed Jason Garrett out of the Dolphins to be the head coach here. Everyone knew that wasn't going to be the case, but they interviewed him to be the head coach, and he ended up being the offensive coordinator. And then they hired a head coach, but that's another story. All right, Isaac in Amarillo. What's up?
What's going on, Mr. Nick? Good to hear y'all. We missed y'all, I think. It's been a long couple days with the weather and everything.
Yeah.
Just had one thing to say, sir, about the hire, specifically with Christian Parker. Sir, we're going all the way. We're going to be the number 1 seed next year.
Whoa.
I think we should all book our tickets to L.A., and I think I halfway mean that. I think it's just really exciting that we got a teacher in here, just like you kind of mentioned, that maybe somebody can come in here and just make it easier for the players. I think that was, again, maybe all of our hope. So I think we should all be excited. Do we know everything? Of course not, but I think it's exciting. Yeah. And I guess really the question I had, too, was seeing the article about CeeDee going to the Pro Bowl, and I think you hit it right on the nose. What is the Pro Bowl nowadays? But I really just wanted to ask you, when he first came in 2020, I know you guys weren't as close to the team because of the COVID year and everything, but did you notice right off the bat, was there a giveaway? This is going to be one of the great ones in Cowboys history, because I think it's fair to say CeeDee's already there. He might go down as the best 88 for all we know. Was there a giveaway hey, this kid's going to be legit? Did you see anything?
Well, yeah, he had an interception right when he was drafted. His first play was an interception when his girlfriend tried to take his phone and he took it back from him. So you knew right then and there that, he had quick hands. No, seriously. What I loved about the pick, thanks for the call, Isaac, and thanks for asking that, because I love talking about CeeDee. But, what I loved about the pick is that they did not stick to the board. I mean, we know that, and they kind of pat themselves on the back for that, and they should, because that's a perfect example of saying we need defense, we need corner, we need pass rusher, but we can't ignore this. And they had a Pro Bowler in Amari Cooper, and I mean they signed him and everything, but I mean they just couldn't ignore it, and so. And then that's what happens. The guys are going to fall to them. So that looking at number 20 in the draft, I mean, they're going to be looking at that. So don't dismiss anything, any position when it comes to that. So, but as far as what you're asking, You know, I remember he didn't really want 88, if I remember that correctly. I mean, what guys coming out of college want to wear in the 80s? They don't. They don't wear it, you know, very often. He didn't want that. He wore 2 in college. He wanted something like that. But I think he understood once, you know, he was like, hey, this is what we're giving you, and this is what we think of you. He came around to that, and so, you know, he kind of got it early on. But I don't, you know, as far as a tell goes, I mean, he got here and he had some good players. I mean, he had Gallup was here, and of course Amari, and he was kind of finding his way. But the whole year was different. Dak got hurt, and Andy Dalton, and so it was kind of a transition. But the Cowboys sensed that they needed Amari probably not to be here for him to really, really grow. And nothing against Amari, because they didn't have a bad relationship. It's just that he's a number one. He's a number one. He needs to be a number one, and he's really going to take off, and he did. And, you know, does he have his moments where he gets upset on the sideline, and or he gets beat by Chris in cornhole? Yeah, he gets upset by that. He's competitive, you know, but you want that guy, and I'm proud of him, and, you know, a 5-time Pro Bowler. It doesn't matter what you say, what's going to happen. No one cares if he came in for this guy or a replacement. No one cares. He's made the Pro Bowl 5 straight years, and that's exactly what they wanted when they drafted him 17th overall, when they wanted defense, and he was there, as they called, the blinking light, and he's made 5 straight Pro Bowls. All right, let's go to break here on Cowboy Storyline. Be right back after this.
All right, Cowboys fans, this one's for you. Gillette's Best Shave has a new look this season, and they've got one that sticked out in Cowboys colors just for us. We're going to want to run, not walk to this one, y'all. The new Gillette Labs official Dallas Cowboys licensed razor isn't just Gillette's best shave. With 50% longer lasting blades than Fusion, it's the best a Cowboys fan can get. Get it while you can at Gillette.com/NFL. Gillette's Best Shave is also available as heated.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
Altec Lansing has been perfecting sound since 1927, bringing you decades of audio excellence to elevate your Dallas Cowboys tailgate ritual. Equip your next pregame with the Sound Rover 180 with 6 hours of playtime, built-in microphone, multicolor light modes, and a rugged exterior that's built to last. Visit alteclansing.com/Cowboys15 for 15% off your Sound Rover 180. That's ALTECLANSING.com/Cowboys15 for 15% off. Altec Lansing, official audio partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Back to Cowboys Storyline, presented by Gillette, the official shave of the Dallas Cowboys.
All right, back here on Cowboys Storyline, presented by Gillette. Gillette's Best Shave is available in Cowboy colors, 50% longer lasting blades than Fusion. The new Gillette Labs is available at Gillette.com/NFL. All right, let's get back to it here. Let's go Josh in Princeton. What's up, Josh?
Hey, Nick, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing good. Finally got to drive into the office today.
Yep. Me too. It's been good.
Yep. So I heard the last call. I remember CeeDee originally wanted to wear number 10 before they forced 88
That's right.
on him.
That is right. Yeah.
Cooper
Rush said no. I'm kidding. I don't even remember. I don't think Cooper Rush was here then. He was, and then he came back, left. I don't remember if he was here at that point.
I do think the number was available. They just wanted him to wear 88.
And I'm curious, when that happens again. Like when does that happen? And you draft another one, and but they're not going to want it. But it just keeps getting better. They haven't had a dud there, really.
It's very strong. The legacy is strong with the number.
I guess Antonio Bryant had it,
Yeah.
Antonio Bryant was a badass player, though. He really was. Like talent-wise, like he was really good. You know, he was a lot like George Pickens before this season. Antonio Bryant, to me, was like George Pickens the first 3 years, kind of erratic and super talented, but you didn't know what you could expect. But he never had that blow-up season like George did. But he had that kind of talent, and he did. If you remember him, he was really good.
Yeah. So, I was calling today just to say that I'm encouraged by the Christian Parker hire. I'm not going to pretend like I knew a whole lot about him, but the process just screams that Shouty has had his hands all over bringing them in. So that's what I'm most encouraged about. Yeah. And I did have one question. When is the earliest that the Cowboys can tag George Pickens? Do they have to wait until free agency starts, or can they do it beforehand? And I'll take that offline.
I knew you would ask me that. There's a window for that. And if I had to guess, it's about a couple weeks, maybe February 20th, something like that. There's a window of when you can start to tag players, and then when it ends. There's a deadline for it, and it starts and ends before free agency, and it's usually. I bet you, Chris, can you actually look that up? Do you mind?
I'm doing it right now.
Yeah, it's really not that. I mean, it's available. I would imagine somewhere in the mid-February range, right after the Super Bowl, maybe February 20th, maybe for like 10 days, 12 days to about early March. That's usually what happens, and then about 10 days or so before free agency.
February 17th.
February 17th. Do you know when the deadline? Is that when it starts?
Yeah, February 17th, beginning of the day. Clubs can design franchise or transition players. Okay. And then free agency starts.
I know it starts March
11th.
But I think the window to the deadline is before that.
March 3rd.
Okay, so there it is. It's about 2 weeks, and so that's what they'll do, and they'll use that time to kind of wait and see, and see if they can maybe get a deal done and kind of get around that. But he'll be the tag is a placeholder, and I hopefully George knows that, and his agent knows that it's not a disrespect. That's one thing about DeMarcus Lawrence. I remember when he got tagged, he was like, "Thanks." I mean, it's fully guaranteed. I mean, he looked at it different than others, and so if that happens, it's like, all right, and where agents have the leverage a lot of times is when that happens, you want to get a deal done before that. Let's say, what's the tag going to be around? I keep seeing about $28 million for a receiver. So a year, or, the 1 year, $28 million. And so you want to get a deal done before that, if possible, because I don't think that they want to go 28 per, but, once you tag them, then that kind of is where the floor is. So we'll see what happens. I mean, this is the agency that handled Micah. A little different, not exact the same agent, but still the same company. And so it's not gonna be easy. And he made the Pro Bowl, he's second team All-Pro. We all know that. And so we'll see what he's trying to do. But they will tag him if they don't get a deal done. They will definitely tag him, and that might be the best situation for everything here. If you still are unsure what he's going to do, he plays on the tag. See what happens. See what you get out of that. All right, Chris in San Angelo is next. Hey, Chris, what's up?
Hey.
What's up, man?
Oh, hey, sorry, Nick. I didn't even hear you, buddy.
You're okay.
Hey, how are you doing today?
Good,
Hope you're well. And I'm really good, man. Hey, first of all, I love the new hire, and I love how Christian Parker is now CP, right? Like he hadn't stepped in the building.
Yeah,
and,
CP. Yeah.
He's already earned the letters, right?
I guess so. I've heard it a couple times now, and sure. I mean, yeah. I mean, as long as it's not GP, you got GP, CP.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right on, man. Well, let's face it, he's not legit until after the Nick Eatman interview. So we'll be looking forward to that.
I don't know about that. I'm sure I'll let Tommy and Patrick or Kyle, if they're in here, let Nicole. They'll probably get a chance to interview him.
There you go.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him. There might be a press conference. I think there was going to be a press conference this week, but with the weather, it changed everything. But I could imagine that would happen maybe next week. And yeah, I'm interested to see what he has to say and see what happens when he gets here and gets on a big press conference. And it's different here. I mean, the media is different here, and Spotlight's different, and see kind of how he reacts. I don't think he'd be afraid of it, but I just think I like to see how he performs here.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, it's quite a shock change for him. Hey, your thoughts though on the type of guys you think he should get under him? Should he? I mean, I know you don't have a say in it, but do you think that he should just stay young with all the other coaches?
No.
Or do you think maybe pick at least one older, more, I guess, grizzled, you could say, type of guy to throw in? I'm looking forward to seeing how this fills out. And I wouldn't mind having one kind of elder statesman in the room. I just wanted to see what you thought about that.
That's a great question, Chris. It really is, and it's next level stuff. That's why I love this show. That's why I love you guys calling in, because it's not just one level. It's thinking past that, and I like that. I like where you're thinking here. You're not just going to have everybody, 30 years old, but at the same time, you get an older guy. Like when you're talking about what kind of guys, I think at this point, these guys know football and all that. It's who's going to work together, who's going to understand what we're trying to do, has the same philosophies on what we're trying to do here. Other teachers too. So he's 34 years old. We've talked about that 4 or 5 times. So getting the, like you said, grizzled veteran coach in here sounds great. Is that grizzled veteran coach going to say, yes, sir, 100%, whatever you say, boss, to the 34-year-old or to Shoddy even at that, which he will if that's his job. But, the dynamics there, I mean, this guy's seen a lot. But there's some really good coaches that have been doing it for a long time. They understand their role. They understand that's what football coaches are. I mean, I learned that from a guy, one of my favorite coaches. I've said this before. My favorite coaches of all time here from the Cowboys is Joe DeCamillis, and he was a coordinator, obviously. And but he understood the role. You understand the chain of command. It doesn't. I mean, it could be guys older than you, younger than you, whatever. So, do they need some experience? Yeah, I think so. I mean, with guys that have seen different things. It's becoming a younger man's game, but that doesn't mean that the experienced coaches don't have a role either. So, good question, Chris. Really good one. Let's go to break one more time, though, on Cowboy Storyline. Sorry, try to get in these last 2 callers. We'll be right back on Cowboy Storyline.
Cowboys fans, when it comes to navigating the ever-changing world of tax, your business needs a partner it can trust to tackle even your biggest tax challenges. Ryan is the largest firm in the world dedicated exclusively to business taxes. Our team of tax professionals has local expertise in all areas of tax and can help you uncover savings opportunities you didn't know you had. Learn more about how Ryan can improve your overall corporate tax performance by visiting Ryan.com. Ryan, the official tax partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
We got big personalities. We got big hair, big belt buckles. We got fans all across this big state and enemies in every other one. We even got a big star on the 50-yard line. Smirnoff knows football is a we thing, an experience that is best enjoyed together. With good drinks and good folks home or away, we rally together. We cry together. And we always rally cry together because, most of all, we got big love for them boys. Smirnoff, we do game days. Please drink responsibly.
Back to Cowboys Storyline, presented by Gillette, the official shave of the Dallas Cowboys.
This segment is presented by Yeti. Officially licensed Yeti Cowboys gear is available at the Stadium Pro Shops, concession, and on Yeti.com. All right, back here for Cowboys Storyline. A couple more calls. Steve in New York. Steve, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up, pal?
How are you?
All right, real quick. I mean, I'm pretty much echoing what a lot of people said. I love the hire. I don't mean it in a disrespectful way, but that word retread gets thrown around. And this is someone younger, new, and it's not that, I'm using air quotes here, the comfortable hire. And I like that. I really do. And I just, you look in the past few years, like you were talking about the grizzled veteran guy who comes in. You saw how that worked out.
Right.
It didn't. And I'm thinking, who was the guy? Was it Mike Solari who they a few years? Was that like a few years ago when they had him on? He coached under Landry, and I saw like a trend, like bringing guys back. And I just said, whoever they hire, I want it to be someone who has never been in the building before.
Right.
Yeah. That's it. That's all I wanted. And I think we got it with this guy. And again, I don't know if it's going to be what it's going to amount to, but I love the hire. Just wanted to say that.
Well, cool. Yeah. I
real
agree.
quick.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Huh? Yeah, real quick on my trivia, because I never asked the obvious. Remember, everyone's talking obviously 30 years. Wow. But the infamous fourth, I won't say 4th and 1, 4th and a foot play. Emmitt Smith twice. Were you? I don't even. Hopefully, you weren't at that game.
No.
But yeah, you remember it well, right?
Yeah, you talking about 95
against
Eagles.
Philly at Philly.
At Philly. Okay.
Yeah, this guy unfortunately caught a 9.5-yard pass on 3rd down, setting up one of Barry Switzer's, very infamous decisions of going for it. The only hint I'll give you is he never caught a touchdown, and not a guy. You've mentioned him on this show. I'll tell you.
I
that.
have.
You've mentioned him. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Is he a tight end?
No.
No. In 95, Corey Fleming.
You got it.
Yes. Yes.
You're the best, Nick.
I was thinking Scott Galbraith the whole time, but Corey Fleming, he didn't catch many passes.
No, he did not. And I always tell people when they ask me about that game, the Leon Lett Thanksgiving and the Super Bowl play with Leon Lett, I don't look back at those plays angry. You know why? Because in every one of those instances, they never lost another football game, and they won the Super Bowl.
Exactly. You know what's funny? Like, the old NFL films, they would do like a 30-minute yearbook or whatever. It would be like, it was. You're right. There was a game in '92 in Washington. It was a very frustrating loss. '93 was that fumble. Then '93 the ice fumble. '95 was that, and it was like it was the most frustrating loss of the season. It would also be their last. And, the music plays and all that stuff. All right, Steve, good stuff.
Thanks, man.
All right. Let's go to Lester in Minnesota. Lester, what's up?
Hey, Nick. Chris. Nick. Nick and Chris.
Yeah, we're both here. What's up?
Just checking to make sure I haven't talked to you all in like 2 weeks.
We're here.
Hey, But I just want to comment on the hire of Coach Parker. I did a little reading research, and one of the things that he does do that if he continues to do, which I am very impressed of, is that he holds all the players accountable for knowing the playbook and knowing the plays and he holds everybody accountable on the defense, at least his area of knowing why we're doing this and why is this other guy doing that, why the linebacker doing that. So that is just, I love that because, and then I heard that he will question you anytime if he see you in the hallway or something. He'll just grab you and say, okay, and ask a question about what do you think about this formation or whatever. So I love that because that'll have everybody on the same page.
Exactly.
I mean, some people learn a little bit quicker than others, true enough, but the philosophy is everybody be on the same page.
Yeah, I mean, it's like.
What do you think, Nick?
I think that's great, and I think that's something we didn't see hear a lot. It's kind of like, you know, you have kids. You say, no, we're not going there. Well, why? Well, because we don't have time. Well, why? Well, you know, because we didn't get ready in time. Well, why? Well, because you give me a hard time. Why? Well, you know, like you can go all day long, and kids usually will, and it's one of those things. But you got to have an answer for it, and it's important. And here with defensive backs and safeties, it's the why. You know, why are we doing this? It's not just because I'm asking you, but if you understand that part, then you'll understand why not, and you'll understand why we did it this time and not that time. It goes back to a question Dylan was talking about from Northport, Florida earlier today about, you know, changing things up and disguising your coverages and things like that. All of that sounds great, but remember back before when I was saying what kind of football player do I want? You know, I don't want necessarily the guy that runs 4-3-1. I mean, that'd be great. I want the guy that says he studies inside and out. He knows the why. He knows what's happening here. It hurts to lose. It hurts so bad that he's going to make sure he doesn't do that again. Hey, he runs a 4-4-2. Okay, he'll make up for it, though. I want that guy. And if you're going to disguise coverages, you got to be kind of smart. You got to be a smart football player. You got to have smart guys on defense. And I'm not saying anybody is or isn't that. I'm saying if you're moving forward, if it's a clean slate, give me some guys in here that understand what Christian Parker's doing. When he says, why are we doing this? He understands it, and he has the answer. Because you got to be able to make decisions on the fly. You got to have smart football players to kind of do some of those things. And I think that's one thing that they're going to be looking for. All right, good stuff, guys. Great 10 calls. Thanks I know we had a different time slot. We'll be back to our normal time slot at 9:30 on Wednesdays, next Wednesday as well. Hold on about that. As I say that, I realize, no, that's probably not going to be the case. Let me get back to you guys on that. I'll be at the Super Bowl that week. We'll see when we're going to do the show next week. But hopefully we'll have a little bit more time than we did today. Great stuff. Appreciate that. For Chris Beam, I'm Nick Eatman. We will see you next week, some point, on Cowboy Storyline.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!